How to become a millionaire with a low salary and working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The biggest mistake of those living from paycheck to paycheck is believing that they will only get rich when they earn more. This mindset steals time and hope. The foundation of wealth is not in an immediate income increase, but in the absolute control of what already comes into your pocket. Think about it. If you can't allocate $100, you won't be able to allocate $1,000 or $10,000 either. Financial discipline is the training that prepares you to hold larger amounts in the future. The secret starts with the habit of paying yourself first. Before any bills, set aside a portion of your salary, even if small, and treat that amount as untouchable. It is your ticket out of the endless race. Every dollar saved is a brick placed in building your freedom. Don't wait until there's something left to save, because there never is. You are the one who makes it possible by deciding to cut expenses that do not support your long-term goals. This mindset shift is like turning a key. Money stops being just a means of paying bills and becomes your ally. When you start paying yourself first, every week of work ceases to be just an effort for survival and becomes a conscious step towards your first million. The second key to becoming a millionaire with an ordinary salary is learning to control the invisible money leaks. Small daily expenses may seem harmless, but when added up over the month, they consume what could be invested. The coffee bought on the way to work, the subscription you hardly use, impulse purchases on apps. All of these create a silent drain that weakens your ability to build wealth. The strategy here is clear. Track every dollar. Use a notebook, an app, or a simple spreadsheet. The important thing is to make visible where their money is going. This exercise creates awareness and reveals patterns. They start to see which expenses are essential and which only feed the illusion of momentary comfort. When they cut the excess, they are not depriving themselves, they are buying freedom. The difference between those who become wealthy and those who remain trapped in debt is not in living without pleasure, but in choosing which pleasures are worth the price. By redirecting every small leak to their savings, they discover that accumulation is the result of discipline. In the end, it is not the big leap that builds wealth, but the set of small choices repeated every day. Saving money is the first step, but if they truly want to become a millionaire, they need to put that money to work. The salary pays the bills, but it is investments that build wealth. The mindset here shifts from consumer to investor. Instead of asking, "How much does this cost?" they start asking, "How much can this money earn if I invest it?" In the United States, the most accessible options are in investment accounts like the 401k or the Roth IRA. If their company offers matching in the 401k, it means they are putting money in alongside them, and that is guaranteed return. Not taking advantage is leaving money on the table. The Roth IRA, on the other hand, allows them to invest their money already taxed, but with tax-free growth in the future. These instruments are the gateway to turning small contributions into large fortunes over the years. The key is not to try to guess the next millionaire investment, but to consistently invest in solid assets, such as index funds. They track the economy's growth and, in the long run, offer predictable and powerful returns. Even $100 a month, invested in a disciplined way, can turn into hundreds of thousands over time, thanks to the power of compound interest. When they understand that every dollar invested is an employee working day and night for them, the game changes. They stop being slaves to the paycheck and start building a silent wealth army that grows while they sleep. Having discipline with what they earn today is essential, but there is a natural limit to cutting expenses. Therefore, the next turn is to learn how to increase their income without giving up the 9-to-5 job. The secret is not in working more hours, but in working smarter, creating new money entry sources. Think about skills they already have that can be monetized outside of office hours. It could be giving online classes, freelancing in areas they master, creating digital products, or even starting a small side business. The current market values knowledge, creativity, and specialized services, and often what they know is already valuable to someone. Another way is to invest in themselves. Courses, certifications, and professional development increase their chances of getting promotions or better job opportunities. Each salary increase is fuel to accelerate their contributions and multiply their wealth. Remember, the most profitable investment they can make at the beginning of the journey is in their own skills. When they turn their free time into fertile ground for new sources of income, their financial reality no longer depends solely on a paycheck. The result is clear: more money to invest, faster accumulation, and closer to reaching the first million, even starting with a low salary. Earning more money only makes a difference if they know exactly how to organize this increase in income. Without a plan, the extra money disappears as quickly as it came in, and they remain stuck in the same cycle. This is where the budget structure becomes indispensable. Every new dollar needs to have a destination before it even reaches their account. Use the purpose budget rule. A portion goes directly into investments, another covers essential needs, and a small slice can be set aside for conscious pleasures. This balance maintains their discipline without turning their life into eternal sacrifice. The clearer they direct, the less room they give for impulsive spending that steals their progress. If the extra income comes from freelancing or side businesses, treat it as sacred. Do not mix it with the day-to-day money. Open a separate account to organize this source of income, making it easier to track and preventing it from being consumed without strategy. This clarity strengthens their sense of progress and creates the habit of giving orders to money instead of just reacting to it. The real power of extra income is not in spending more, but in accelerating investments and increasing the safety net. This is what turns additional effort into real and consistent growth. Before expanding their investments aggressively, there is a step that separates those who build wealth from those who live in constant stress: the emergency fund. Without it, any unforeseen event, a medical expense, a broken car, an unexpected dismissal, can force them to use credit cards or loans, destroying months or even years of progress. The initial goal is clear: to accumulate at least 3 to 6 months of basic expenses in a separate and easily accessible account, such as a high-yield savings account. This money is not for spending on wants. It is their shield against crises. Knowing that they are protected completely changes their relationship with money. They start investing with confidence, without fear that any setback will ruin their plans. Building this fund requires patience and consistency. Direct part of what they save and part of what they earn extra to it until reaching the goal. It doesn't matter if they start with $50 or $100 per month. The important thing is to create the habit and not touch that amount for anything other than a real emergency. With the emergency fund in place, they relieve the pressure off their shoulders and give their money space to grow. Without this cushion, every step in the investment world is risky. With it, every step is supported by safety and peace of mind. With the emergency fund secured, they finally have the foundation to invest consistently and focus on the long term. This is the point where the game changes. They stop just protecting themselves and start building wealth rapidly. The secret is to create an investment plan that is automatic, diversified, and aligned with their future goals. The smartest path for those working 9 to 5 is to use simple and predictable investments. Index funds like the S&P 500 are the backbone of many silent millionaires in America. They offer consistent growth, low cost, and allow even small monthly contributions to multiply extraordinarily over time. Automating these contributions is key. Set up automatic transfers from their salary to the investment account as soon as they receive it. This way, they remove the temptation to spend and ensure that their strategy does not depend on their willpower. This invisible discipline is what separates those who dream of wealth from those who actually achieve it. The focus is not on quick gains but on consistency. The earlier they start, the more time works in their favor, and every dollar invested turns into many more over the decades. This long-term vision creates freedom because they know that every step today is a solid brick in building their future millionaire. No wealth-building plan survives if debts consume what they earn. High interest rates are like chains pulling them back as they try to move forward. To become a millionaire with an average salary, it is essential to learn how to strategically eliminate debts without paralyzing their investment journey. The first step is to face all debts head-on. Organize them in a list, including amounts, deadlines, and interest rates. This simple act takes debt out of the shadows and gives them back control. From there, choose the strategy that best suits them. The avalanche method, which prioritizes debts with the highest interests, or the snowball method, which starts with the smallest debts to create motivation and discipline. While paying off debts, keep feeding their emergency fund and make small investments, even if minimal. This keeps the habit alive and prevents the feeling that their financial life is at a standstill. Balance is what prevents setbacks. The most important point is to change the mindset. Debt is not an eternal punishment. It is just a phase that can be overcome with consistency. Every extra payment is a step towards freedom, and each debt eliminated creates space for more money to be directed towards what truly builds wealth. Breaking this cycle means freeing themselves from one of the biggest thieves of their millionaire future. Relying on a single source of income is like walking on a tightrope without a safety net. If their 9-to-5 job salary disappears, their entire plan falls apart. Therefore, creating multiple income sources is one of the most powerful strategies to speed up the path to the first million. These sources don't need to start big. A side business, freelance services, digital sales, renting out an extra room, or even investment dividends can turn into consistent money flows over time. The secret is to build strategically. Start with something that fits into your routine and does not require an impossible effort to maintain. With each new source, you gain two things: more security and more speed in accumulating wealth. Part of this extra income can be directed towards investments, another part towards accelerating debt repayment, and a smaller portion can be used to improve your quality of life without compromising progress. This process also changes their mindset. They stop being just an employee and start seeing themselves as wealth creators. Instead of waiting for a raise at work, they become responsible for creating opportunities that increase their income. And when multiple sources work together, their wealth grows far beyond what a single paycheck could offer. One of the biggest wealth saboteurs is the so-called lifestyle creep, or living standard increase. It happens when, as they earn more, they automatically start spending more. A higher salary becomes a more expensive car, a larger house, designer clothes, frequent dinners. And suddenly, even with more income, they still don't save and invest enough to upgrade their financial status. The key is to learn to live below what they earn, even as their income grows. This doesn't mean living with eternal restrictions, but rather maintaining a comfortable life without turning every increase into new fixed expenses. The difference between those who reach the first million and those who never break free from the cycle of bills lies in this discipline. Set a living standard that they enjoy and fits their current budget. When the salary increases or new sources of income arise, resist the temptation to immediately expand. Channel most of that extra money into investments, increasing the growth speed. Allow themselves small pleasures, but without compromising the greater goal. This self-control creates an invisible force. They start to take pride in accumulating instead of just showing off. And the more consistent this practice is, the faster the sum in their assets grows until it becomes real, solid, and sustainable wealth. Wealth does not arise by chance. It arises from clear goals. Those who do not set financial goals end up spending without direction, always putting out fires instead of building something lasting. If their desire is to reach the first million even with an average salary, they need to turn this goal into concrete numbers and deadlines. Start by setting short, medium, and long-term goals. In the short term, it could be saving $1,000 in an initial reserve. In the medium term, reaching $50,000 invested in 5 years. In the long term, accumulating the first million in 15 or 20 years. When you break down the goal into stages, it no longer seems unattainable and becomes a road with visible milestones. Visualizing this progress is essential. Use spreadsheets, apps, or even a physical board at home to track each achievement. Seeing the numbers grow creates motivation to keep going strong, even when the salary seems limited. Each goal achieved proves that you are on the right track. The most powerful thing about having goals is that they work as a compass. When the temptation to spend on something unnecessary arises, you can ask yourself, does this bring me closer or further away from my goal? This clarity is what keeps your discipline alive and ensures that every financial decision is aligned with the millionaire future you are building. The final ingredient to turn an ordinary salary into a millionaire asset is mindset. Wealth does not happen overnight. It is the result of discipline applied over years. Having patience means accepting that small consistent steps are worth more than any promise of quick enrichment. It is believing that every dollar saved, every debt paid off, every automatic investment is a seed that grows invisibly until it blooms in abundance. The right mindset begins by seeing money as an ally, not as an enemy. Instead of complaining about your salary, you start using it as a tool. Instead of feeling guilty about cutting expenses, you feel empowered when consciously deciding where your money goes. This change creates resilience. Even in the face of challenges, you do not abandon the plan because you know that every decision is a brick on the path to freedom. Patience, consistency, and long-term vision become their advantage. While many give up or seek risky shortcuts, they stay firm, letting time and compound interest work in their favor. It is this strategic calmness that turns ordinary people into silent millionaires, those who build wealth discreetly, solidly, and unshakably. When you combine mindset with practice, the first million ceases to be a distant dream and becomes just a matter of time. Building $1 million with an ordinary salary and a 9-to-5 job is not a myth. It's a matter of strategy, discipline, and vision. You realize it's not about winning the lottery or having a stroke of luck. It's about controlling what you already have, cutting leaks, investing consistently, increasing your sources of income, and keeping your lifestyle aligned with your goals. It's about using every dollar as an ally to achieve freedom. The journey requires patience, but every step brings rewards. Financial security, peace in the face of unforeseen events, and the confidence that you are on the right path. The real secret is not chasing money, but putting it to work for you. When that happens, your life stops being controlled by the paycheck and starts being guided by the choices you make every day. Now the decision is in their hands. They can continue living in the cycle of financial stress or start today to build a solid future, step by step, until they reach the first million. What will define their story is not the amount that comes in, but how they choose to use what they already have. Money made easy helps you save with lightness, peace in your pocket, and time for life.